Hey everybody, it's a beautiful July afternoon. This is Bryce Larson. I thought I'd take a couple of minutes just to kind of walk you through my guns that we're going to be using for a lot of the testing. I just want to show you the pieces, maybe give some ideas if you have a sniper project of your own, or some ideas about how to get into pump play for a reasonable price and to get some pretty high performance out of it. Alright, we're going to start with this guy. This is the gun I shoot most often when I'm playing pump. It's a pro stock body, 2003. Sport shot hopper. I like these guys. It's it's about 100 rounds. It's a nice size. I can play a number of games with that without reloading, or if I want to carry a few extra paintballs, I can carry something. This is also good for, I've played it in a couple of scenario games, some big games, 100 balls here. I have a leg pack that holds another 100. 200 you can play for a long time playing pump with that. Let me just walk you through the pieces on the gun. There's nothing too crazy about the body. Vert feed, I like that, no hopper, or no adapters to your hopper. I think it's an Evil beaver tail I picked up for $6 online. A die single swing trigger. These are fairly popular right now. They're not making them anymore. It's a single. You can see it's kind of a big single trigger. It's got a nice smooth pump, nice smooth trigger stroke, as well as some nice adjustment. There's a little set screw at the back behind the trigger. You can shorten your trigger pull up real nicely. This one had a little hitch in it when I got it, but I polished up the trigger, and the sear in here made it really nice. Hoe grips, I think they're fantastic. Even when they get really slimy, you're sliding around on an airball field, they still keep the grip real nicely. I've recently gone to playing with a 45-45 tank. It's a nice size tank, still weighs very little. If you take the cover off, it weighs about the same as a 9-ounce CO2 tank, but obviously you get a ton of shots out of it. I can play all day on this. Having the gauge is also really nice because you can tell when you're running low, obviously. Cheapo on-off that came with the gun. The regulator on this guy is a stock WGP regulator. I have no idea what age this one is. Keep them oiled. They'll treat you great forever. Nice performing reg, especially since you can pick them up for about $10 online. PMP Industries kit. I really like this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's got this nice groove in the side. It's a great finger. It's great to set your fingers in. Especially I like it when I'm playing, when I swing over left-handed. It gives me something, I feel like I'm actually getting good contact with my right hand when I'm swinging that way. I have a free kit. I have two pretty much matching free kits. You'll see the other one on the other gun. I have more than a full set of inserts, which is nice. I can set both guns up for whatever size paint. I did have Gordon Cockerpunk measure the inserts on this guy. Some of them were way off, and I took a marker and I wrote on them, so now I know what size I'm actually playing with. So let's see here. We'll knock through this guy real quick. You can pick up a body like this if you wanted to build a gun like this for $40 or so on the forums. 10 or 12 bucks for the hopper. Free kits, 35 to 50 bucks depending on how many inserts. PMP Industries kit, about 30 bucks. It's about a $10 or $15 regulator. This grip frame's a little trickier. They were, a year ago they were going for much less. You might pay up to 80 bucks for this right now. I don't think it's quite worth that. My slider feels just as good. You know, it's a $20 on-off, $120 tank. This tank costs pretty much as the rest of this gun. You can get into these for really, really reasonable prices. It's the stock internals on here. I did spend a significant amount of time sweet spotting the reg to match the valve. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Just hit Google, sweet spotting autococker, sweet spotting regulator, something like that. Basically what you do is you're balancing the input pressure on the gun to match exactly what the springs in the valve like. It'll give you the best performance that you're going to get. I'll be right back with my other gun. Okay, second gun. Right feed body. It's a 2000 body again, probably 2001, something like that. I have a second free kit on this one. This is the progressive tip. This is the WGP pump kit. You can see based on this, it's got very similar pump kit to the other one. It's a little bit longer handle, a little bit fatter, and it does not have the grooves on the side. It feels fine, I think. Slider trigger frame. I really like this. I took the trigger plate out and polished it up real nice with my Dremel. It's a slick, very smooth trigger pull. I do have a trigger shoe on there because otherwise, you know, it's that whole stamped trigger thing. This guy does have a nice, it's a benchmark grip. It does have a nice adjustment. It's got all the adjustment screws you can want, so you can really touch the trigger up the way you want. This is a reg off of a Rex. It's kind of a knockoff autococker that was made for a few years. This one is externally adjustable. It's a little faster to sweet spot than the stock WGP reg. 13 cubic inch, 3000 psi bottle. This is a great bottle for playing pump paintball. It weighs next to nothing. It weighs about half as much as a 3.5 ounce, somewhere right in there. And the other thing about it that's really nice is that all the weight is right here. This tank itself weighs very little, but the weight is really close to the grip frame, so it keeps your gun nice and the package nice and tight. I do have the Winchester hopper. I did the pod lid modification on this. They come with a really crappy lid, the way that they come stock. This is just the lid off of one of my pods. What else about this gun? Again, just some knockoff cheapo beaver tail. I hit myself in the mask with my pumps whenever I'm shooting uphill, so I do wear, I put the beaver tail on them. This gun, total cost, $5 or $6 for the hopper. Again, $35 to $50 for the kit, depending on the free kit, depending on how many you get. I paid $65 for the bottle. The grip frame, $25 probably. The rag, again, $10, $12. This is like a $30 pump kit. So, you know, this is, here again, this whole rig you can get into for a fairly high-performing sniper open class pump for $120, $150 tops for your whole kit. I'd highly encourage anyone to go out and pick up a cheap cocker, turn it into one of these. Even if you need to do a trilogy, they make trilogy kits now.
Sped through the scene until the engine stopped. Some suburban shopping mall. Sailed away on such separate trips, and she got bent down at the party pit. Sailed away on such separate trips, and she got bent down at the party pit. And I came back to start a band, of course. I saw her walking through the crystal court. She made a scene by the revolving doors. She's gonna walk around and drink some more.